Okie dokie artichoke. Well, now, we're back again with more follow up to the 2025 South Dakota Festival of Books. And this book I find very intriguing. I mentioned it in a previous video. First Laugh, Welcome Baby by Roseanne Tahe and Nancy Bo Flood, illustrated by Jonathan Nelson. And I was just reading it because it's a kid's book, of course. It says here laughter is a holy gift for the Navajo people. Frolicking humor is woven into this charming story like the wool fibers of a traditional Navajo rug. Um, and of course, being a kid's book, there's only a few pages and a whole lot of pictures. But I'm going to use this to illustrate something that you guys need to know. We all need to know as students of literature. Are you ready? Here we go. I'm not going to read it word for word because I'm kind of awkward. I just want to show you these awesome pictures where we got a new baby and the family is trying their darndest to make this baby laugh, and they're not getting anywhere. Baby, we wait, watching, tickling, smiling. When will we hear your very first laugh? Baby, nap in your crib. Grandma is tucking the baby in, and still the baby's not laughing. Oh, let me see what else we got. Wiggling and squirming and maybe taking the baby for a bath. No, the baby is in the crib and still not not laughing. It says such a frown. You are hungry. Smells from the kitchen tickle your nose. Big sister Noddy sprinkle salt cedar ash into bubbling blue cornmeal mush. Eat, little baby, fill up your tummy, then will you laugh? So they're trying everything. They're feeding the baby, and the baby's frowning but not laughing. Now, let's keep going. Now, they're going out to grandparents and weaving a rug, and they've got the baby in a cradle board, and the baby is all tied up and just looking. Says here, ribbons of buckskin hold you snug so your legs grow strong and your back straight. And still, no laugh. Here's a crow that comes, and a dog, and still the baby's not laughing. Oh man, the baby yawns, but still, no laugh. I'm going to go faster because I'm not going to read it word for word. It says here they're riding on a horse. And instead of laughing, the baby scowls. As you know, a lot of Navajos have sheep and they're out herding sheep. They put the baby on the horse with grandma, and the baby's just making a scowl. Grandma kisses your cheeks and tears. She points to a windmill, brings up water. Cows and calves reach toward the silver blade spinning. Whoosh! Grandmother or grandfather Yecheli or Chei splashes water, sprinkling sunshine. Still, no, not even a smile. Oh, sounds like my son when he was little. So they're doing all kinds of stuff. The kids and cousins, everybody's trying to make the baby laugh. Baby's not laughing. They're starting to get worried. Tonight, after napping, you wake, stretch, and look. Not tired, not hungry, not scared. Big brother, your ninai, makes silly faces. Sister plays her Navajo flute. Papa tickles your tummy and toes. Mama sings with the sunset. Still, baby is not laughing. Let's go faster. Finally, your eyes open wide, tiny lips quiver, turn into a smile. Grandpa has 'em. Grandpa's lifting him up high, and the baby's smiling and waving and wiggling. And like babies everywhere, long ago and today, you laugh. Yay! And everybody's so happy. Grandparents nod, sister giggles, brother jumps, mama and papa clap, everyone cheers. Yay! Baby's laughing. Oh, baby, yes. We welcome you, Navajo baby, into your family, into your clans. So they have a big feast to celebrate baby's first laugh. And that's pretty much the end. Now, what does this have to do in general, what we need to learn in our native literature class? Well, that's what I'm here to share with you today, sir. Now, I'm going to try to do this. This is going to look weird. I'm just going to grab my other iPad. Bear with me. There is this fella way back in the 1860s, German philosopher, or whatever you want to call him, named Gustav Freytag. I think Freytag means Friday in German. So, Gustav Friday. My eyes are dry. And he devised what he's calling, or he called, a plot structure. And he said it's almost most plots in novels and stories and oral tradition, whatever you want to have it, they move in a certain, almost like the stock market, rising up to a rising action, a climax, and then back down. Let's look at it. So he's got it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. Let's see if I can share this with you without making a mess. Here we go. Fridays or Freytag's pyramid classic plot structure. We start with, can I read backwards? Yes, I can. Exposition, and then inciting incident, and then rising action, and then the climax up here, and then falling action and resolution. Can we plug this into my little Navajo story? Let me think about it. What is the exposition? We can kind of debate. Maybe it's the fact that they have a brand new baby in the family. Maybe that's a combination of exposition and an inciting incident. The thing is, they're trying to get this brand new baby to laugh, right? So our rising action takes the form of a question. When will we hear your very first laugh? Everybody's all freaking out, like, how are we going to get this baby to laugh? Oh no! And they're all very concerned because we can't get the baby to laugh. And it just gets builds and builds and builds and builds to higher and higher. And they're doing all this different things to try to make the baby laugh. And taking the baby out to the res, out of the city. They go to the farm with grandparents. And they start playing and playing, and grandfather finally takes the baby and says, give me that baby. Holds the baby up high, and of course, baby cracks a smile and then laughs. That's our climax there. And then we have falling action and resolution. So this would be the climax where, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Make the baby laugh. And our falling action and resolution is probably a combined thing where they have a big old ceremony and a party to celebrate and welcome the new laughing baby into the family and into clans. Clans are a big thing in Navajo tradition. You guys know this, right? Well, some people who follow Freytag's pyramid structure of story would say that even a little kid's story falls into that. But there's another one that's even more complicated. The hero's journey, which I'm just going to read it to you really fast, and I'm not going to overdo it because we don't have enough time. And I believe this is moving counterclockwise, which is really weird compared to our, or at least my family tribal tradition, where we move in clockwise. I don't remember the Heyokas, do they dance clockwise or counterclockwise? You guys got to tell me in the comment sections. Anyway, I guess we start off in the ordinary world. There's a call to adventure. meeting the mentor. I'm starting to think of Tolkien and the Hobbit, crossing the threshold, tests allies and enemies, approach to the inmost cave, ordeal, reward, the road back, resurrection, return with elixir or prize or something back to the ordinary world. So there's that hero's journey, which is a circular story structure that we see in a lot of literature, Western literature included, maybe Native literature. I don't know. I've got some notes I want to share with you. 10 minutes and 41 seconds. Oh man, I got to get this done quick. This is something for us as students of literature, and my challenge question to you is, does this fit in a lot of modern day Native literature and even some old stories? Maybe the oral tradition? You tell me. So, there is, according to one of the speakers, and suddenly her name is escaping me. She's an author of one of these many books that I just shared with you. And I got books all over the place. And I have no idea how I'm going to get all these home without Professor Lee catching me and reading me the riot act for spending all this money. But never mind. Let's stay focused. According to this professor, whose name I cannot remember, and we don't need to know her name right now, I'll get it to you later. She says there is a good 7-point plot structure that we all need to pay attention to in literature. You ready? Here we go. First is the hook. In the case of whatever, Lord of the Rings, Frodo receives the One Ring. Or is that actually the journey? I don't remember. Um, the hook, something that hooks the reader in. There's a call to adventure. That's the second plot or point. Third, the first pinch point, she calls it. So let's see. We'll start with a hook, something that interests the reader. Something, wow, this is strange. Something new's happening here. Oh, really interesting. The call to adventure. Um, this makes everything change. It raises questions, this point. The third one, where it says first pinch point, this is where the main character, the hero, the protagonist, gets a nudge and has to face a new obstacle or some new call to action. And the character has to take action because it's something that's placed into an unfamiliar situation for this character. Then we get to the midpoint. It's another shift in the story, a turning point where the main character takes charge even more. Then we get to a second pinch point. My tongue again. I had dinner with Tiffany Midge and we stuffed ourselves silly at a Chinese restaurant, and I bit my tongue again. Ugh. Sorry about that. So bear with me. The second pinch point, more obstacles are there and more loss. We could even think of what is that movie, Marvel Universe? I forgot what it's called. Avengers. There's a whole bunch of pinch points in that one. The pinch point where some obstacle or some terrible, scary, or a point of loss. So the hero takes a loss. And the second pinch point, and then there's a third one. And the third one is the darkest moment for the hero, the main character. And this is where the character must learn and figure out what to do. Then climax and resolution. So there are 7 points. Again, hook, call to adventure, that's 2. 3, first pinch point. 4, midpoint. 5, second pinch point. 6, third pinch point, which is the darkest moment of all. And last but not least, the climax and resolution. So, this is good for those of us who study literature, but it's also good for those of us who write literature. And boy, did we spend a whole lot of time writing. Maybe I'll share some of mine with you later, but not now. It's a bunch of notes I took. But we don't need to talk about that right now. We got to hurry up because I'm already 15 minutes in, and I promised I wasn't going to make these videos too long. So, again, I thank you so much for sharing time with me, and I'll post these on YouTube and we'll work them into our class somehow. Thanks again. Have a nice day. Talk to you later.